Senior Talk. This morning we have with us Diane McDonough, she's the Director of Sales down there, and she has a bunch of guests today. I'm going to turn that over to her right now. Diane, good morning, and tell us who we have today.
Great. Good morning, Paul, and to all our listeners. Tomorrow is Election Day. Harbor Place is an official voting place. 73rd Precinct, voting begins at 7 a.m. and ends at 7 p.m. Please park in the back of the building, use the back entrance. We volunteered Harbor Place as a voting place to help the public in our community. Our residents enjoy the convenience as well. While you place your vote, stop by the concierge desk for information or a tour of Harbor Place, a continuum of care campus with independent living, assisted living, along with rehab, skilled nursing, through our sister community, Life Care. Harbor Place is celebrating its 15th year anniversary, serving our community. Our support and care for seniors extends out to the public and to various organizations. Today, our special guest, who we support, is Mary Craig, Senior Outreach Service Director for our Council on Aging of St. Lucie. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Diane and listeners.
Please share with our listeners about the Council on Aging St. Lucie, when and how it was founded and created.
Well, as you know, I just love talking about the Council on Aging. And it all started way back in 1973 with a small group of volunteers who looked at the needs of St. Lucie County and realized that there was a tremendous need for nutrition. So hence we have the birth of the Meals on Wheels program. And if you can only imagine of how it was like in St. Lucie County in 1973 and the way it is now, and all of the seniors that have benefited from that program is just wonderful. It's just wonderful for us to be able to provide that service, knowing that these folks that are in need of a good, nutritious meal are continuing to get it after 40-some years.
Great. So that's how it was created, by the Meals on Wheels?
Actually, that was the first service that was started, if you can imagine that.
Great.
1973. And I guess over the years, we certainly have increased from the small group of people that we had to over 100 employees today. We provide a myriad of services, not only Meals on Wheels. We provide personal care, respite, adult daycare, companion service. We have a wonderful case management team. We have 2 senior centers. We have an adult daycare program in our Port St. Lucie Senior Center, which is just a tremendous a support system for those folks that are in need of supervised care and for the caregivers who are so desperately in need of respite.
Fantastic. Sounds like we've got a lot to talk about, so let's break this down a little bit here. This is a nonprofit organization.
It's a private, non-for-profit agency. Certainly we get federal funding, and there's never enough of that, as everybody knows. So we rely on federal monies, local monies, state monies, grants, donations, contributions. So we really try to tap into all of the resources that can help us. Along with funding not being where it is ever enough, it has created waiting lists for a lot of the programs. And so some folks are placed on a waiting list waiting for services. And certainly that's a challenge for us. But again, we look for all other resources in our community to help us out and provide services for the clients.
I had the pleasure the other day to meet Daryl Drummond, CEO and President. What a fantastic man.
Can't say enough to support that. Terrific leader. Has been with us for many years, leading us to where we are today. Certainly the commitment, the compassion that we all have at the Council on Aging, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to say about the agency. Certainly our CEO and President, our board, and certainly our staff, Diane.
It's well organized. It's just not a building there. It is, how many employees again?
Well over 100.
Fantastic.
So
And you, how long have you been employed?
I've been there for 22 years, and along with many of my colleagues who have been there for many years, and I can honestly tell you that is a great support in itself, because having a stable staff and having the same commitment and dealing with all that we deal with the aging population And knowing that it's continuing to grow, it's just wonderful to have support of staff that's right along by your side.
Fantastic. That says a lot. 22 years. I understand you serve the diverse needs of seniors and improve their quality of life in meaningful ways of offering variety of programs. One of these programs that I so admire is your Meals on Wheels, your nutrition program, and the centers of dining. Can you break that down and talk about eligibility, who can get Meals on Wheels, how they can do this?
Certainly. For our services at the Council on Aging, they start at the age of 60. So eligibility age-wise is the 60-year mark. For folks that are in need of Meals on Wheels, the home-delivered Meals on Wheels, you need to be 60 and you need to be homebound. And the way we define homebound is that you certainly are able to go out, but you need to be assisted by somebody else. So if you're able to independently take community transit or drive your car, technically that's not an eligible person. However, if indeed you are a caregiver or residing with a senior who is receiving meals, then you're entitled to a meal as a caregiver or somebody residing with an eligible senior. And then the other component to the Meals on Wheels program is the congregate dining, which is, again, a wonderful service for those folks who want to come into our senior centers and meal sites, certainly have a nutritious meal, but also socialize and interact with their peers. And we have our senior center in 2501 Southwest Bayshore Boulevard is a meal site. 1505 Orange Avenue in Fort Pierce is a meal site. We also have a dining site at the Buell Brown Center on 7th Street in Fort Pierce. And we also provide all of the meals to the Alzheimer's Community Care adult daycares. So we certainly have a varied amount of sites where folks can go and certainly have a wonderful meal and also socialize.
I do know that folks who call Harbor Place, whether it's adult child or the person interested in moving in, some are on Meals on Wheels. Adult child have ordered it for their parents because they're out of town. It becomes a necessity of their daily diet and nutrition. They don't have the transportation, which we'll cover a little bit later on this show. So I do admire that. Do you have a story that you'd like to share with us that hits home a little bit about the Meals on Wheels?
I have to tell you, over the years, you think about the folks that you have visited, and I do recall this one gentleman who was receiving Meals on Wheels, and sometimes you're not quite sure what are the needs of all of the folks that we're serving. But this one gentleman in particular was receiving Meals on Wheels, and he lived alone, and he had an older dog with him as his companion. And we, in our assessment process, go out once a year and reassess to make sure things are either not changed or have changed. And I can remember going through some of the questions and him not having all of the food that you would expect somebody to have. And checking out his pantry and his refrigerator, realizing that there was no other additional food in his residence. And it was one of those things, it's a reality that there is a true need for the nutrition, but also that if indeed it came to a choice of whether he ate or his companion dog, the dog would have received the meal, I'm sure. So it just made you realize how important that program is, how necessary it is for a good, nutritious meal, but also that component of socialization and interaction with our Meals on Wheels drivers, our volunteers, and certainly all of our staff.
How many volunteers do you have, and how many meals do you deliver a day?
Well, obviously, we depend a great deal on volunteers. And so that program in itself could not do what it does without the volunteer support. And we are just so grateful for those folks that can donate an hour or two to help us with the meals. Right now, we've gone to a new system of Meals on Wheels where we're delivering frozen meals, and we deliver those once a week. So between staff and volunteers, we're making those deliveries. And again, because some of our volunteers are seasonal, we love this time of year because many of those volunteers are coming back to us.
I've met many that tell me that it's the only meal they have during that day, that they look forward to them arriving. They'll tell me, no, I can't come visit you because Meals on Wheels are going to be here between this hour and this hour. And so it's a program that I do admire. And if I was a neighbor of someone that I knew needed Meals on Wheels, can I reach out, and who do I reach out to in your organization?
Certainly, anyone who has a concern about somebody who, whether they need Meals on Wheels or other services, they can call our consumer service specialist, Nellie Diaz, at 772-336-8608. They would take the information in that department, and then it works from there.
Why don't you give that number one more time, please?
Yes. 772-336-8608.
All right, another service is adult daycare.
Another wonderful program, Diane. I can't tell you how needed that program is, not only for the clients who certainly need to be in a supervised environment, but also need interaction with their peers, socialization, and give their caregivers a little bit of respite. We have many caregivers that are still in the workforce, who are working full-time, who are caring for an elderly loved one. They also may be caring for their grandchildren or their children. So their day is very full, knowing that whether you're getting an older person ready for daycare or a child for daycare, it's the same amount of time and patience and understanding that you need to give. And then go out into the workforce yourself, and then provide yourself with all of those things that make you a professional. So the daycare, again, is a wonderful respite environment for the caregiver to leave their loved ones. We have a wonderful staff with our nurses and our LPNs and our CNAs, and the interaction and the activities there is just wonderful for the clients that attend.
For our listeners, what's the process of?
Again, it would be calling our consumer service specialist and asking for that sort of service, and then they would guide you through what you do next as far as coming to the senior center, maybe having a tour of the senior center and the adult daycare and our facility, so that you can work with the nurse director there, and certainly start the planning and maybe the coordination that you would need so you could get your loved one into our adult daycare.
So it's the assessment as well and a care plan, because I'm sure everyone has a different care plan and an assessment.
The initial part of accessing Council on Aging would be calling our consumer service specialist, where they would do an intake, and then those intakes are dispersed throughout the agency.
Well, part of your daycare, I'm sure, is the activities that are there, and I looked at your calendar. You have line dancing.
We do. That's line dancing, bingo, ceramics, computer classes. All of these activities are going on at the Council on Aging. We have many folks who come in and participate in all of those activities. They sometimes will have lunch with us, and they have a full day of interaction and fun. And believe me, when they leave, their days are a little more full and a lot more to talk about when you get home.
What kind of exercise programs?
Actually, it's the line dancing, those kinds of activities. And in the adult daycare, they do have exercise programs as well.
Yeah, I'm sure one of those, like we have at Harbor Place, is chair exercising and stretching. It just builds the endurance. And not, if anyone knows, if not anyone knows Mary is a runner. She has that endurance, and so I'm glad to see that your organization also has that for the participants there. In reference to the calendar, do you have any upcoming events?
Well, right now we're busy with the Thanksgiving project. We just went down and participated in Channel 5 Food for Families. So we did get cartons of food, and we'll be making food boxes up for our needy. And we also participate with the local schools and businesses who, again, are involved in the Food for Family program. So that's the big project for November. And then, of course, we get into the Christmas season, and we have many folks that are helping us and support our activities for the holiday. and gifts, and anyone who would like to contribute a gift for a senior. We will have boxes out shortly after Thanksgiving at certain locations, and we'll announce those soon. And so we have quite a few activities ready to go around the holiday season. And I want to add, we have a very giving community, so we have a lot of partnerships in our community that help support these efforts.
Public transportation.
Oh gosh, what would we do without it? Many of our folks that come to our senior center certainly rely on community transit. Many of our folks that are would normally be somewhat homebound without that service now have access not only to our senior center and our adult daycare, but wherever they want to go in our community. And we have a wonderful person joining us today, Rohe Gonzalez from Community Transit, so I'll have to turn the show over to him.
Hi, Rohe. Good morning. Tell us more about the transit program. And it's interesting. I don't think everyone knows out there. And when they see these buses, it's under the Council on Aging. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And it's a big division on its own. I can't even imagine all the details that you have to do. And it's my understanding you've been with the organization for about 22 years as well.
Yeah, January 3rd, 1995 is when I started.
Wow. All right. Share with us.
Okay. In 1991, Council on Aging received funding to start the public transportation in this county. And at that time, we had what they call the ADA transportation, if you will, or door-to-door service. And in 2000, we started our first fixed route. We currently have a door-to-door service that will allow any resident in St. Lucie County to provide them with transportation door-to-door throughout the county, but they have to be pre-qualified for that service. So if they're interested in that, they would have to call in 772-464-7433, and the reservationists will go over all the qualifications on the phone with them, send them out the appropriate application, and once they are approved for the ADA service, then they'll be able to be picked up for their door-to-door ride. In addition to that, we have a fixed route service that started in 2000. We currently have 7 routes that facilitate that service. We run Monday through Saturday for routes 1, 2, and 3, and Monday through Friday for the entire system. So now we have Saturday service for routes 1, 2, and 3. Route 1 was our first route that was established in 2000. That starts at Avenue D and goes all the way down to the Treasure Coast Mall. 2-hour headway. So if you start in Fort Pierce, you will be back at the Fort Pierce Intermodal within 2 hours with a myriad of stops in between. In addition, routes 2 and 3 are our other 2 Fort Pierce routes that work in complement with Route 1. Those routes also run 6 days a week. Monday through Friday, we start at 6 o'clock and we end at 8 o'clock in the evening for those 3 routes. Saturday, we start at 8 and we end at 4. The system is closed from 12 to 1 for a lunch. In addition to those 3 routes, we have Route 4, which is our Port St. Lucie trolley. That runs in Port St. Lucie from 7 o'clock in the morning to 6 in the evening. We have Route 5, which is our Port St. Lucie Boulevard, Gatlin area, if you would, and then Route 6, which is St. Lucie West Boulevard and Prima Vista Boulevard.
Well, Rohe, it sounds like we've got a lot of options here. We're going to continue those options and talk more about the transit program. Right now, I believe
I have a question, Diane.
Sure.
We still have about 4 or 5 minutes yet before we go to the news, but you've given a quite lengthy list of where you all travel to. Is that, if a person obviously didn't write all this down, where can they go to find the information of the transportation services?
Yes, a very good question. www.treasurecoastconnector.com is our website that they can go, and all the information I've discussed and will discuss will be included on that website. They can also feel free to call in 772-464-7433 and talk to one of our reservationists, which would be more than happy to go over all the aspects. And then we also have another line, which is just for the Treasure Coast Connector, 772-464-8878.
Wow.
Excellent. That's
fantastic.
That's a tremendous service, because you always wonder, most people who are needy certainly wouldn't have transportation. And yeah, it's a great service. Thank you. We do appreciate those numbers. And we will get it towards the end of the show. We'll go back to some of the important numbers. You want to get your pencils and paper ready. end of the show, we'll go back over the numbers you maybe need to have. So go ahead, Diane.
Yeah, fantastic. Give me an example, Rohey, in reference to door-to-door service. Just an example of what would qualify someone.
Basically, that's the ADA service. You have to have an ADA complimentary service anytime you have a fixed route. So these would be individuals that cannot access the fixed route for whatever reason. It could be a situation where they're not near a stop. They could have a disability. It could be a number of reasons. So typically, once they're qualified, they would call in, make the reservation, and it could be to a doctor's office, could be dialysis, could be to go get their hair taken care of. It could be a number of reasons. And they would call in, and they would let them know what time they would like to be at their appointment, and the reservations will give them a window. So in other words, if they had a 9 o'clock appointment, they say, okay, we'll be there between, say, for instance, 8 o'clock and 8:30, or perhaps 8 and 9, whatever the time frame would be. They'd pick them up, put them on one of our vehicles, take them to their destination, and once they're concluded with their destination, they would call us back on the telephone and say, I'm ready for pickup. Again, we would give them a window when we're going to pick them up, pick them back up, and take them back to the residence. Now, there's a fare involved for that service. It's $1 each way if you're over the age of 60 or have a disability. And if you're under the age of 60, it's $2 each way.
Well, I understand there's a cost to that, but where else are you getting this funding? Because that possibly can't supply what you need to run these buses and the helps and the drivers. And
correct. We get our funding from a lot of different sources, from the FTA, from DOT, from grants. Also,
Good.
if you ever look at your bill for your taxes, for your homeowner's taxes, there is a line item in there that was approved a number of years ago for transportation. So it's a small amount of your property taxes that helps to go towards our transportation services as well.
which is well needed. So
Yes, ma'am.
it's out there. So make the call, use the service. And again, Rohey, give us the number who they can talk to.
772-464-7433. And the direct number for the Church Coast Connector is 772-464-8878. And if you call the wrong number by accident, it's not a problem. We will make sure that you get in contact with the correct person to answer all of your questions.
Oh, fantastic. And how many buses do you have?
Well, for the two modes, we have 14 vehicles that handle our 7 routes. And one route I failed to talk about was our newest route, which is our Lakewood Park route, which has hour headways, and that bus leaves in Fort Pierce at the intermodal and goes all the way into the Vero Beach area, actually. So if you need to access the Vero Beach service and river transportation, you can do that on that route as well. But that's route number 7. In regards to that as well, all of our routes will be able to connect. So even though it may take you a bit of time, you could access a route in Fort Pierce and conceivably end up down at Port St. Lucie, or meet one of our partners down in Martin County and continue on with their service as well. For the demand response service, we have 39 vehicles available for that service, and then we have, like I said, 14 vehicles available for the fixed route service.
Tell me more about what kind of handicap functions that there are on the bus for those that need it.
All of our vehicles are ADA accessible, meaning that if you require a wheelchair lift or a ramp, they provide that for you. The driver will be more than happy to assist you on the vehicle. For the community trans or the slats, if you're a fixed route driver, the vehicles have full kneels, and a ramp comes out, and the individual will roll themselves onto the vehicle, and then the driver, of course, will make sure that you're strapped down in the wheelchair position.
Fantastic. As a courtesy for your drivers, what would you like to say to the public as they are driving the buses, just for safety, for what your drivers would like for them to do?
Well, we would like to mention that, of course, we hope that you would utilize our service, but we do make frequent stops. So if you're driving behind one of our vehicles or next to one of them, just pay particular attention, because we are going to be stopping quite frequently. Even if it's demand response service, we are going to pull over to certain areas. So please keep a distance. We also are required by FTA and DOT to stop at all railroad crossings. And some people get a little bit alerted, if you will, when they see a bus stop, but we are required to do so. And we do make, like I had mentioned before, a lot of stops along the corridor. So just pay particular attention to these vehicles. They're beautiful. They're blue and yellow. You can't miss them.
Fantastic. Paul?
Yeah, thank you, Diane. It's about almost 10:30. We'll go to Florida News Network here in just a few seconds here, but we'll come back. We have the Council on Aging today. I want to ask you about the 20,000 people you serve regularly, which I think is an outstanding number. It's WPSL, Port St. Lucie, Florida. It's time now for the news from Florida News Network. Okay, well, we're coming back live now to the talk show. And this morning we're joined by a group of people, actually. Diane McDonough is our hostess this morning. She's joined by Mary. Mary, how are you this morning?
Terrific.
Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead, Diane. Let's bring it on.
Great. We're back with the Council on Aging of St. Lucie. Rohey is the Transit Vehicle Maintenance and Security Director. Before we went on a little break, you were explaining the program to us, Rohey. Can you just add any last comments you'd like to tell us about?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to make mention of the fixed route in regards to the different fare structures that we have. We also have a monthly pass can be purchased for $50 for an individual under the age of 60. It's a half fare, $25 if you're over this age of 60 or disabled. We also have our weekly ticket books, if you will, that are $14 full fare or $7 half fare if you're disabled or over the age of 60. We also have a daily pass for those users that may utilize the service more than 3 or 4 times a day. The daily pass is $5 or $2.50 if you're over the age of 60 or disabled. The other thing I'd like to make mention of is all of our vehicles on the fixed route are equipped with bike racks, because we do have a lot of individuals that like to ride their bikes for whatever reason, and we have 2 bike positions on each one of our fixed route buses. So if you ride a bike, you can place your bike on the route, on the rack while you're on the route. And we also, at a lot of our new shelters that are coming up on US 1 that are being installed, we also have a bike rack there. So if you choose not to have your bike on the bus, you can also strap it down at one of the bike racks at one of the many shelters that are springing up along US 1 and the other corridors.
If someone has a scooter, can they put that on the bus?
Are you talking about in terms of a mobility scooter, like
Right.
a power chair?
Correct.
Yes. Those types of vehicles can be on the vehicle. They will be strapped down if you transfer out of that into a seat. We do ask if you have any type of vehicles like an electric bike or a gas-powered bike. Those types of items, unfortunately, cannot be transported on our vehicles. But, of course, the ADA type power scooters, if you will, power wheelchairs, things of that nature can be.
Thank you very much. That was very informative. Mary, who is our Senior Outreach Service Director of the Council of Aging in St. Lucie, tell us about your locations again and your contact information.
We have 2 senior centers in St. Lucie County. We have our senior center at 2501 Southwest Bayshore Boulevard in Port St. Lucie. We also have a senior center at 1505 Orange Avenue in Fort Pierce. And again, the number is 772-336-8608.
Mary, how does the Council on Aging reach out and inform seniors and their families of the services?
We do that in a myriad of ways. Certainly myself as the senior outreach person, I'm out in the community as much as I can, attending events and activities where many of our seniors and their caregivers attend. So we try to bring along all of our information and make them aware of it. We also have folks that are coming into our senior centers seeking out information, and there is always either myself or other staff members that are there to explain to them all of what we are able to do. Again, our mission is to provide services in the home to keep our seniors independent for as long as possible. And with that in mind, we are a very busy team and certainly want to provide as much information that we can. We have printed material. We certainly have our website, Facebook page. All of those ways are ways we get the word out about the Council on Aging. I do a lot of speaking presentations, whether it be for civic groups or for businesses. So I'm always available to provide whatever information I can.
It's great to have all these options for seniors, whether it's a community like Harbor Place or with Council of Aging, their daycare. But you have something new to announce to me as well.
Yeah, I do. We have a new nurse registry to talk about, Better Life, that was born out of the Council on Aging of St. Lucie. And joining us today is Antoinette Jazot, and she's the administrator. So I'd like to turn the show over to Antoinette.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. As the administrator of Better Life Home Care, I just want the community to know that we are committed to bringing our clients and their loved one peace of mind by providing expert and reliable home care services.
Oh, fantastic. How was Better Life Home Care created?
Better Life Home Care was created because there is a need on the Treasure Coast by seniors to have extra care in their home, to keep them in their home as opposed to going to a nursing home or assisted living facility. So the need was there, and it was seen, and so that's how Better Life was born.
All right. Tell us about the various services Better Life Home Care provides.
Okay, Better Life Home Care provides personal care assistance, nursing services, homemaking, companion services. This includes help with meal preparation, cleaning around the house, help with taking a bath, medication reminders, transportation to doctor's appointments.
Oh, fantastic. Daily living, activities of daily living. Can you tell us more what that is and what the services entail?
Activities of daily living will be assistance with personal care. If you need some assistance taking a bath or grooming yourself, combing your hair, going to the restroom, that's where we come in. Someone will come into your home and help you with that.
All right. And then there's fall precautions. I know that is a situation we look at every day. We try to prevent that as much as we can. And I believe that's one of the services of the daily living that your company also provides.
Yes, that's correct. We can have a caregiver in place to assess the home to make sure that there are no fall hazards, and to also just be present with the senior or the client to make sure they have someone there if they're trying to transport to assist them so they don't fall and break a hip or something.
Medication management. So many seniors may have 8 to 10 medications at a time. There can be some confusion. It's so nice to hear that your service also offers that as well.
Yes, medication management is a service that we provide. We can send a nurse out to your home to set up your medication boxes for you weekly or however frequently you need to make sure that the medications are taken properly. We can also provide medication reminders, just an extra, hey, how are you doing? Did you take your medicine today?
Fantastic. Are you calling or are you actually going out there to ask to do the medication
We can go
reminders?
out to the home.
Okay, fantastic. Companionship.
Okay, companionship is just like having a friend come over to see how you're doing, to read a book with you, to go out to the movies with you, to just have conversation with you so you have someone there and you're not there alone.
Fantastic. And part of that companionship and the daily living is escorts to appointment. It's so important because I know when I'm not feeling well, when I go to the doctors and they're telling me what to do and what medications to take, I probably hear half of that. So I can only imagine the seniors that have to go to those doctor's appointments alone. You offer those escort appointments.
Yes, we can provide an escort to go to doctor's appointments or whatever appointments a senior may have to get that information and bring it back to the family member and be there listening to know what's going on at the appointment.
That's going to be a peace of mind both for the adult child and for the person, senior
yes.
themselves. Nursing services.
Nursing services, wound care, Alzheimer's care, any services that you would receive from a nurse ordered by your doctor. We can provide those in your home as opposed to going to, like I said, a skilled nursing facility or a nursing home. Those services can be provided in your home with a doctor's order.
All right. And I know that you work with veterans.
This is correct. We provide services to veterans also. Companionship, homemaking, if they need help cleaning their house, nursing services, and the cost may be supplemented. They would just need to reach out to our office to get some assistance on finding out if they qualify.
An assessment's being done. Is it RN, LPN? Who's doing the assessments for you?
We have an RN on staff that would do an assessment.
All right. And what are some of the other care needs for the servicing, nursing servicing? It looks like with the dementia and the Alzheimer's, as we know, that's on a rise, and we're being exposed to that even more.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you do for them?
So with that, mostly would be assistance with personal care. With someone suffering with dementia or Alzheimer's, they may need some assistance in getting their activities of daily living done. So someone would come in and help them bathe, give them medication reminders. We can also provide a companion for them. Just have someone there to give them, or more so their family, peace of mind, or even provide respite care to give their family members a break.
Oh, fantastic. How is it a private pay? Or is there veteran services, aid and attendance involved?
So our services are private pay, but if there is a veteran that qualifies for aid and attendance, they may qualify to get services supplemented. And we also work with long-term care insurance companies. The client would just need to let us know which company they're working with, and we'll reach out and do the work on the back end to make sure that the services are provided.
All right.
Or covered.
And if they're looking to ask more about the services or of an assessment, who do they contact?
They can call us at 772-465-5220.
And your locations?
We're at 1505 Orange Avenue, Fort Pierce, 34950.
Tell me, how do you and Mary work together?
How do Mary and I work together? We work together pretty closely. We go out into the community together to let people know about the services provided.
But it's interesting, and to me, as if I walked up to a booth, you were still both standing there. It would be interesting to find out that you can give some services, but then Mary can also give some services, and how you two work together on that.
Exactly. Just getting the word out to let the community know about the services that we do provide. There might be a need, and someone may not even know about the service, just to get the word out there.
Correct. How about support services in reference to like a caregivers group, or do you have these services? A support group of any sort?
We don't currently have a support group at this time, but
Okay.
that might be something we look into creating in the future.
Well, let me tell you right now, the reason I'm mentioning it, that Harbor Place, if you want to correspond with us on that, we do have caregivers support groups for dementia and Alzheimer's. We have it for the Parkinson's group, surviving spouses. We reach out to the public, and they come in, and we let them use our building. And if we can assist you, the Council of Aging, in reference to having them come out so we can give them that support, it's our pleasure to do that for you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to tell us about this new division of the Counseling of Aging and the Better Life Home Care for a Healthy Life?
Okay, so our primary goal is to enable and empower our clients to live a better life by providing them with compassionate, dependable professional care at an affordable price. So home care, like I stated before, home care, it really just allows the client the opportunity to stay in their home versus going to a facility or an assisted living facility. Allows them to stay in the home as long as possible.
All right, what is the difference between a certified nursing assistant, which is a CNA, versus a homemaker or a companion?
Okay, so a certified nursing assistant, they would help with personal care. A homemaker would be someone to come in and do like light housekeeping. They would assist with meal preparation, shopping, do dishes, light cleaning, things like that. And a companion is like having a friend over for a cup of tea, to read a book, to watch TV, to go out on outings, just someone to be there with you. So the senior wouldn't be there alone.
If there is a senior that you're working with through the home care, and they move into our community, and now let's say they're in independent living, and they need some care, how do you work with us in reference to a community like ours, continuum of care with your services?
Well, we could come into a community and continue to provide care to the client, whether they're in assisted living or skilled nursing. The care could continue. The companion could still come in, and depending on what the family wanted, even a CNA or a homemaker could come in too. Just depends on the services that they need.
Again, it's a great option. It's so many seniors have adult children living outside of the area, so it's nice to see this. What website can they go to?
Our website is www.betterlifehomecarefl.com.
Oh, fantastic. Mary, congratulations. And Antoinette and Rohe, what a great organization that you have. So many different divisions. Did I miss any of them? or any services. I think we covered some of them, but I don't think we covered it all. There's so much that the Council of Aging St. Lucie offers, and I know that you also work with Martin County as well. And how do you do that?
Well, we work independently of Martin County. Basically, they have the same services and the same senior center and things that we provide. However, they're in Martin County. So even though we work independently, we do similar things.
You do similar things, and from my understanding, you also do some corresponding in reference to how you're going to be helping seniors moving forward.
Certainly. What I would like to stress is certainly the partnerships that we have within the community. As you mentioned, Diane, you have a myriad of support groups going on at Harbor Place. And I know that we were certainly present for your 15th anniversary. And when you think about all of our community partners that are involved in making all of what we do, certainly valuable resources for our seniors and their caregivers, it's just amazing. But I really have to tell you that if it weren't for all of our partnerships and all that we do independently, but all that we do collaboratively, I don't think that we'd be able to serve all of those 20,000 seniors and their families every year. So I continue to say it's all of those partnerships and the coordination and the interaction that we have and the sharing of information and programs that makes it just a wonderful resource for all of us.
Our county is growing with population, and yes, folks have moved here 30, 40 years ago to retire. I think your 20,000 is going to be 25,000, 30,000 in the next 5 years or so.
Well, we have a huge baby boomer population coming into focus right now. So when you add that to the equation, it's just mind-boggling as to the needs of what our elders will need.
You know, it's interesting how Harbor Place is an independent assisted living, and also we have Life Care, which is our skilled nursing and rehab. And though we still reach out to the Council of Aging as a resource for seniors, I can't help everyone. Maybe it's not the right situation for them, and it's nice to turn them over to the Council of Aging to give them more direction and more help.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You guys are doing a great job. Mary, can you tell me more about your upcoming events?
Well, we have a huge Meals on Wheels fundraiser coming up February 11th, 2017. And it'll be at St. Lucie Lanes to certainly focus on our Meals on Wheels program. So we're urging all of you to look for more information about that big fundraiser that benefits our Meals on Wheels program.
Oh, fantastic. And any upcoming events for Better Life? I know that you just had your grand opening.
Yes, last Thursday we had our grand opening.
Fantastic. And anyone can come in and tour and asking questions at any time, right? Can you tell us more about your time again?
So my office, we're open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, located at 1505 Orange Avenue. Phone number is 772-465-5220.
Rohe, the Christmas or holiday, I should say, is coming up. Folks are going to be doing a lot of shopping. Do you see transportation picking up during the season and during the holiday seasons?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Typically it does, and I think with the addition of our Saturday services as well as our extended hours for routes 1, 2, and 3, that's going to benefit those individuals that do want to shop a little bit earlier or later to try to beat the crowds and utilize Saturday as another day as well.
Yes. Well, if you could share with us your contact information again.
Yes, 772-464-7433 for our community transit ADA SLATs transportation services. For the fixed route, Treasure Coast Connector, 772-464-8878. And also our website, www.treasurecoastconnector.com. You can go on and you can take a look at everything we talked about today and more.
Mary, one more time, your locations, contact information.
2501 Southwest Bayshore Boulevard, Port St. Lucie, 1505 Orange Avenue in Fort Pierce. The number to call, 772-336-8608. And our website is www.coso.com.
Fantastic. And Harbor Place in the month of November, as I was talking about our support group and Thanksgiving coming up, it's a time of giving. So what we would like to do is to invite everyone to come and join us, and just call us at RSVP at 337-4330 for the upcoming events. On November 10th, we have Beat the Blues. Thursday, November 10th at 2 p.m. Keep the holidays fun for you and your family by learning how to plan and manage expectations, presented by Katie Murphy, Director of Behavioral Health Outreach of HCA Treasure Coast Hospitals. And then November 15th, we have the Caregiving and Support Seminar. On Tuesday, November 15th at 2 p.m., make your holidays more enjoyable by learning how to support dementia, Parkinson's disease, as a patient and their caregivers. Then on November 16th, Cancer Support Group, weekly meeting. It's Wednesday, November 16th at 2 p.m., where you can learn how to join the group, learn more about the blood values related to multiple myeloma and other cancers, presented by Debbie Billingsley, which is an RN, senior clinic nurse consultant. There is so much to give back to the community. We hope to do that through Harbor Place and all the events that we have to offer. And we thank all the support groups that come to our building each week to give these folks that come to visit us more support. And not only that, to reach out to the Council of Aging. We're a big supporter of them. You're going to be joining us for your Christmas party at Harbor Place, am I correct?
Yes, we're so excited about that, and certainly want to thank Harbor Place
fantastic.
for that event.
Mary, is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
I would just like to encourage anyone who is in need of information to call 772-336-8608 and ask for our consumer service specialist to get more information.
Fantastic. We have a couple of minutes here. I think I'm going to have some fun with Rohe. Rohe,
Yes, ma'am.
you're an angler. You love to fish, and this is your hobby.
Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to do that, but I've been known to catch a couple dolphin, mahi-mahi, for those that are not familiar with dolphin
And
fish.
your fishing mate there is your son.
Yes, my 5-year-old Evan.
So tell me about Evan when he caught the fish and he named the fish. And
Yes, I'll give you the short version of the story. It didn't look like it was going to be a good day for creeping out and catch some dolphins, so we stopped at the buoy to catch some bait, and he named some of the bait fish that he caught. We caught some sardines, some hardtails, and one of the bait fish he felt wasn't doing a very good job of swimming around the live well, so he wanted to put him out one of the short lines to try to catch a fish. So that was quite a funny experience.
well, it's nice to know that you work hard and that transportation, as you said, it's 6 days a week. You've got to be alert and ready to go. And probably on that 7th day as well, you're preparing for the week to come. So it's nice that you have the hobbies to spend time with your family as such as that.
So, Diane, you were saying, Rohe, you're open 6 days a week. What happens on the 7th day?
We're currently not open on holidays or Sunday, but we just recently expanded our service to include Saturday operations for a small portion of the ADA service, as well as routes 1, 2, and 3. And as funding becomes available in the future, hopefully that'll be expanded for the rest of the system.
So people understand who are a part of your system or program that Sundays, they need to get everything done before Sunday.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. They are very excited about the Saturday service because
Sure.
that was a long time in coming, but maybe one day we'll have Sunday service as well.
Well, you know, folks, if we're fortunate, we're all going to grow older. Correct? Any argument there?
correct.
No.
Yes,
You're right about
yes,
that.
yes.
And the services you all have talked about this morning are just fantastic. I mean, let's face it, I've traveled around the world, and there's a lot of places who don't even come close to what we do in this country. So we got to thank you also very much. And we're talking about 20,000 people you're serving right now. That's a small city. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of people out there. And, you know, Diane, what you do, what you bring to the party every week here at Senior Talk is excellent for all people to check into. And we want to thank you all for coming once again. And Diane, if you want to give them one more thanks, we're going to go to news in about 35 seconds.
Well, thank you to the Counseling on Aging of St. Lucie. Mary, thank you very much. Antoinette, thank you very much. And Rohe, thank you. And thank you for all your hard work and service. And thank you, Paul, for allowing us to be on the show every Monday at 10 o'clock at Senior Talk.
I look forward to it every week, Diane. We certainly thank you for coming this morning. And folks, weather today, we're going to be a little warm, maybe up to 80 today, a little breezy out there, about 20 to 25 miles an hour, so make sure you hold your hats when you leave the door, okay? This is WPSL, Port St. Lucie, Florida. Let's go to CBS now for the news.